Hey everyone, it's Luke with Bring Home Denver, your local real estate experts. Today, joining me is one of my good friends and industry peers, Will Morris with Bond & Morris.
Thanks for having me, Luke.
Yeah, Will, appreciate you being here. Will, first of all, tell us a little bit about Bond & Morris, what you guys specialize in, and how you help your clients.
Yeah, so we are a small boutique trust and estate firm in downtown Denver. We were formed in 1988. We specialize in wills, trusts, estate planning, powers of attorney, estate administration, trust administration, business succession planning. There's a lot there, and kind of estate tax reduction as well.
Okay, so let's back up to a little bit more of a general starting point. Why should people come to you and consider forming a trust or an estate plan, or any of the things you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, the most simplistic answer to that, Luke, is everyone needs a plan in the event of, okay, if they pass away, if they own any sort of assets, a house, financial accounts, if they were to pass away or become incapacitated, we need to appoint someone to be in charge of those assets, pay last debts, pay last taxes, and get those assets to where they're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've helped my family and me and several of my friends and peers over the years. When is it that people come to you? Like, is there a certain life circumstance or something that tips this off? Or
It's a good question. Yeah, so typically the first time clients come to us is when they have children. So you begin having children.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing young parents are thinking about are guardians of, okay, God forbid if both mom and dad were gone, who are going to be the guardians, the caretakers for their minor children.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually the starting point for an estate plan. As life goes on and assets continue to grow, another common life point is when children are out of the nest, they're in college or out of college. That's a time to revisit your estate plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of the retirement age, when clients begin to retire and they have adult children, that's usually kind of the third point in life where it's really a big touching point with estate plan attorneys for clients to come to us and review the estate plan and figure out dot our I's and cross the T's for kind of end-of-life decisions.
All right, so Will, thank you for covering that kind of from a general level. Let's talk a little bit about the common misconceptions in your industry and people doing one thing when they should probably consult with someone like you to do the other and do it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, in your world, Luke, the real estate world, a common mistake that I see people make all the time is they think they're doing their children as beneficiaries a favor by putting them on title to a piece of real estate. So they're, you have elderly parents, and they say, okay, let's put, our son John on title to make it easy for him when we're gone. He'll own the property, and we'll avoid probate. The downside of that is that there's adverse tax consequences where if you gift real estate where you add Johnny to title, you're also gifting your tax basis in the real estate to the person you add to title. And so the idea is when that person goes to sell that property, their tax basis is going to be a lower tax basis, which creates a large capital gain for them, versus if you pass away owning the property and you pass that piece of real estate through a will or through a trust, the person inheriting the real estate gets what's called a step up in tax basis. And so when you get that step up in tax basis, it wipes out the capital gains. And so if John goes to sell the house shortly after inheriting it, typically no capital gains or little capital gains would be due versus getting hit with a big capital gains bill. So that's a common mistake of thinking you're doing something favorable to your kids by putting them on title to the house during your lifetime. But that is something you do not want to do.
Okay, great. I appreciate you going into that. It sounds like people may have these intentions and then execute it poorly or just incorrectly, which is another reason why talking to someone like you would really help them.
That's exactly right. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about how has the industry changed, or what's on the horizon moving forward with regards to lots of new legislation and how some things change with different administrations.
Yeah, with the new administration, there have been tax changes to the estate tax. And so right now, a married couple can pass $30 million estate tax free. And so that's called the estate tax exemption. And so that's an at an all-time high. And so most Americans, 99, 98% of Americans, won't have an estate tax problem because the exemption is so high. But it's still vitally important to have an estate plan, even though the estate tax exemption is high, because you want to avoid probate, which probate is the court process of transferring assets to beneficiaries. And so you want to keep it out of the court system, make it as efficient as possible to pass your property, your real estate, your investment accounts, and whatnot to your children.
Okay, thank you. So for everyone tuning in, you know, what's the best kind of advice or call to action that you can give our audience?
Yeah, I think the best thing is just to contact an estate planning attorney. Most estate planning attorneys will have a free initial consultation, and you just discuss what's going on, what your family dynamics are, what your intentions are with if you were to pass away or become incapacitated, and the estate planning attorney should be able to point you in the right direction and put together a plan for you. And to be honest, a lot of people are scared and intimidated by attorneys, but it should be a relatively straightforward, easy, and cost-effective process.
Yeah, well, I can certainly speak for that. You've helped us over the years. It's been enjoyable. It's been informative. Definitely been cost-effective. So, I will vouch for Will and Bond and Morris. Please contact them directly if you have any questions or you'd like to set up a consultation. Of course, you can always contact us too, and we will make the introduction. Will, thanks again for joining me today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Luke.
Absolutely.